Yesterday was Common Sense Day. Proper
Huh?
warm-up. Yesterday, Common Sense. Yesterday,
Yeah.
Common Sense.
Good morning, everybody. Joe Ciaccio here. Friday morning. Yesterday we talked a little bit about common sense. That's going to lead off into what we're going to talk about a little bit about today, which is kind of like the warm-up. Anything in sales has to do with building a bond with that person that you're visiting with. No matter if it's at a restaurant, with the waiter, is going out to buy a sofa. There's a bond, there's got to be some type, I've got to like this person to want to do business with them. And to me, it all starts with the hello at the front door. Your calling card, your company card is your smile, your personality, the energy that you project to that client. The speed of the way you speak with them, the words you use, the tones you use. You get one chance to make a first impression at that front door. So if they invite you in, excuse me, you got to make sure it's game on. To me, I tell myself, I feel like I'm a Broadway star on a different stage, dealing with different people and different actors all the time. So, with that said, let's kind of talk about, we've gotten into the house, where do we sit? Well, me personally, I don't really care where we sit at. I want to sit where they want to. So what I do, I just follow them. If they ask me, well, Joe, where do you want to sit? I said, well, it makes no difference to me, wherever you feel comfortable. I want them to feel that they're in charge, because that's part of the warm-up, because I want them to feel that they've got control over me. It's their home, their castle, their domain. I want them to feel that they're telling me what to do. It's all a game. Now, personally, I don't like to sit at the dining room table, because the mere fact is they could have had a bad experience there before from another agent. Now granted, everything they say takes place at the dining room table. Business is conducted there, dinners are conducted there, you make your company checks out, you make your personal checks out. So my thoughts are is that if I can get them more into a neutral zone to where I don't know if they had a bad experience or they could have had a great experience, but yet I'm playing the odds. I want to take them to a comfort zone, the couch, the sofa, the recliner, the rocking chair, sit outside their patio, wherever they want to go, I want to go. When I'm doing my warm-up and I'm asked to sit somewhere and I have a husband and wife, I may try to get them to sit together. So if you got a table like this here, you got the head, you got two and two here, the husband sits here, I kind of want the husband and wife to sit here and here so I can sit over here. Okay? I want to sit. If they both sit over here on the table, I want to sit over here. So I've got my eyes looking at both of them because I don't want to have to play ping pong and have my eyes go back and forth when I'm speaking with them. For the mere fact is, I may ask the husband a question. While he's answering the question, he peeks at the wife and she's telling him, making some signs on something that I got no sight of and no control of. So as long as I've got them both in my vision, I can see them both, I can address them both just by differently and moving my eyes. I feel that's going to keep me in where I've got control. When I'm doing my warm-up, we must understand that the husband and the wife both play a part in this decision. And the part they play is, to us, the unknown. We always think, well, the man of the house is the one that makes the decision. He's the head cat, he's the rooster, he's the one that rules with the iron fist. It always doesn't work that way. Been to the house before, the man takes charge. Excuse my cough, guys. Man takes charge, says, this is what we're going to do, honey. Yes, we need this here. Gets down to it, and what you're doing is that you're giving 75 to 80% of your attention on the husband because you feel the husband's the boss. He gets down to it. He turns to the wife and says, well, honey, what do you think? Can we afford this here? Which one you want to do? So in your mind, since he was doing the talking, you decided I'm going to give him all my attention because you thought he was the man. You thought he was the one to make the final decision, yet he parlayed it over to the wife. So when you're sitting and speaking, my recommendation and suggestion is to treat each one equally. Give them both 100% of your attention. Joe, you only got 100% total. You can only give 50-50. You know what I mean. Give him equal amount. Give her an equal amount. Try to ask them the same amount of questions, give them both the same amount of time, because you don't know what happened before you. You don't know if another agent was there and the other agent said this, this, and this. The wife got upset and said, oh my God, this guy's just like him. And once they feel you're like somebody else in a negative way, what happens, they turn a blind eye on you. One of those ears shut, one of those eyes shut. So now they're only getting half of your attention because they're saying, oh, he's just like the other guy. I know I shouldn't have sent this card in. We don't know that. So my thoughts are is do whatever I can to make them both feel that they're both equally as important to each other as to me. So when it comes to making the decision, neither one of them feel that I neglected their interests and I neglected their feelings in participating in this conversation. Now, in a warm-up, every situation is different. Sometimes I'll do a long warm-up, sometimes I'll do a short one. A lot of times it has to do with maybe with my mood, a lot of their energy they're giving to me. I try to talk about myself a little bit, let them know where I've been. Born and raised here in Tampa, love living over here. I'm not going nowhere. I've got kids. Hopefully one day I've got a grandchild where I can sit and hang out with, and something I love doing. Got my license back in 1994. Started actively selling right at the beginning of 97. And it's something that I just love doing, okay? So I'm trying to throw in a little bit about me in the warm-up to where they get to know me and they get to trust me. I want to talk about them. How long have you guys lived here? Are you from the area? Oh, you moved. Where'd you move from? Oh, you moved from Philadelphia. Great area there. Matter of fact, I was there at a business meeting about a year and a half ago. Loved it. Went to see the Rocky statue. Went to see the stairs he ran up. I want to relate to them to where I can get them to speak with me. In sales, the more we allow the other person to speak, the better it is for us, because hopefully we're going to get them to say yes. They say when you're speaking to them, do you like living over here? Yes. Do you like the weather over here? Yes. Now, some people want to tell you no in Florida because it's too hot. Okay? You want to get them to speak with you. You want to have a conversation with you to where they feel they're talking and they're participating in this discussion. So you kind of want to ask them open-ended questions. A lot of times people sit and say, well, talk about the stuff on the wall. Oh, is this your family here? Are these your grandkids here? To me, I do that sometimes, but then again, if they've had other people in the house, they say, man, this is the same old routine all sales guys do. So I try to pick out maybe a current event. I maybe pick out like maybe a picture on the wall, maybe one picture. Maybe if they got a certain type of lamp. I've seen people outside with a fish for their mailbox. So maybe I want to talk about that fish in the mailbox. I'm not much of a fisherman, but yet I'm going to kind of talk about it. If they're a hunter, if I see some rifles, if I see something around there that is not something that is plastered on the wall, I want to talk about something that they know about so they can sit and brag about it. Because you know something? We've said this before. You can have the best programs. You can have the least expensive pricing. Yet they really don't buy all program or all carriers or all insurance companies. They buy you because they trust you and they feel you are running them down the correct road. So we want to make sure that when we're speaking with them, we're taking our time, especially in the beginning. Our words, we're pronouncing them correctly. We're speaking in a tone and in a speed that we feel that they're digesting what we're saying. We've got good voice inflection. We are trying to mimic the way they speak, mirroring somebody, okay? So we're trying to do whatever we can, first of all, to be ourselves, yet be like them because they want to buy something, and hopefully they want to buy it from me. Now, when trying to find something in common with somebody, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes people say, Joe, I've got no idea what to talk about. Well, you can maybe talk about, I don't like talking about politics. I don't like talking about religion because those are avenues I don't like going down, for the mere fact is that I just feel that I'd rather be neutral on those zones there. I may sit and say, you know, is fantastic on what's going on in a certain state because of this, this, and this. I talk about here because of all the hurricanes we have. Isn't it sad to hear about Hurricane Dorian and what it did to the Bahamas? It's really, really sad and all that stuff there. Just, it brings sadness to my heart on what it does to people. And I said, you know, some of the nice things about having some insurance plans for these disasters is that, and you got to have a little bit of an idea about the carrier you're going to go with, and you maybe have already asked them a little bit of health questions or found some stuff out. So, you know, we've got different carriers that offer different benefits for people who are in those situations. You really don't want to sit and say, well, I've got a company called Royal Neighbors who has something called a member relief fund that gives $200 out per year to somebody who has some type of hardship if their refrigerator goes out or something happens. Because you don't want to take them down that road and then you find out that they had a heart attack, you know, 14 months ago and they can't qualify for the program. So you got to kind of think about it, have it in the back of your mind, because a lot of times when I'm doing my warm-up, I'm talking about their health. I'm talking about who they have their health insurance with. Because what I've learned in insurance, in life insurance, is that people want to brag about their health when it comes to health insurance. They want to tell you all the medication they take, they want to tell the times they go to the doctor, because it's health insurance, and normally they already have it. Okay, they already have it. When it comes to life insurance, most of the time they have what we call is amnesia. They tend to forget they had a heart attack, or they had a stroke, or certain medication, because it could have been denied before. So what I like to do is, I've been doing this for like, you know, almost 23 years, really love what I do. I said I do a little bit of Medicare Advantage, I do the Medicare supplements, and by the way, who do you have your health insurance with? Let's say they say I've got United Healthcare, they have Humana, whoever they may have. What I'm going to do, I'm going to say fantastic. Those are two really strong companies. They're both very popular around here. You know, it's kind of good that you have those programs there because you don't have any monthly plan premiums. You know, how often do you go to your specialist? They're going to look at you. They're going to go, hopefully they're going to say, well, I've got really no health issues. You can go, really? You never had any heart attack, no stroke, no cancer, no diabetes? They're going to sit and say, no, there's nothing, basically nothing wrong with me. So already now, you've already got somewhat of an idea how their health is. You say, well, matter of fact, I know that. They've got $1 copay, they've got a $0 copay for generics. Do you take generics on the medications, or do you take name brands? They may say, well, Joe, I go to Publix and I buy my, I get metformin there for free. In Tampa, Florida, you got metformin, Publix, you get it for free. Publix is a grocery store. Or they may go to Walmart or Sam's where they get it for $4 or 3 months for $10. So as I'm doing my warm-up, I'm throwing a little bit about in what I'm doing, a little bit about health insurance, ask a little bit about questions. So I'm getting them to speak. Some people, they don't want to talk about nothing. Some people are kind of hard to read on what they want to talk about. And believe me, I've had those people before. I'm going, man. So what happens in your mind, you automatically think, what am I doing wrong? What am I not saying? So you need to kind of just take a step back and say, you know something? It's not me. I've done this before. I know how to ask questions. You need to ask them something that catches their attention. This is why it's nice to find out where they're from. So if you get into a stalemate, okay, you get into parts where they just don't want to sit and speak, and they say that they're from Philadelphia and you were just there. So, oh, that's right. By the way, I meant to ask something. I went down that street where Rocky ran down that street and they had all the fruits and vegetables. Did you live around there? And hopefully that's going to entice them to want to start speaking again, because it may have been something you said that either they didn't like, something you said they didn't understand, or they just may be that type of person to where they're just not as open as what you want them to be. Everything you do at the door knock to the warm-up is going to lead you into the transition that's going to take you into what the program's about, how to qualify them. So the better you make them feel, the more confident you make them feel about you. By you speaking a little bit slower, kind of tap those brakes, using some voice inflection, trying to find things out that you have in common with them to gain their trust. is going to make it a lot easier and simpler for you to make the transition to talk about what you're really there for, and that is either for Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplement. That even could be a straight standalone accidental program, but more likely it's going to be about a final expense program to take care of their burial expenses so their family's not left responsible with all the unpaid bills. So take your time, go slow, get to know them, have them get to know you as a person. I've seen some agents who actually have with them when they walk in a copy of their, a picture of their family, the family picture. They sometimes have their dog in there. They have their insurance license in there. They've got a couple other different family pictures to say, yeah, I've lived over here. You know, I live over here, I go here. And they've got pictures to where the people can relate. Because if you're going to talk about pictures on their wall, maybe show them some pictures about you. So with that said, make it a great day. Everybody have a great weekend. And as always, I appreciate your hard work. Hit them hard and call me when you need us. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.